my name is Julianne Tenaglia, and I'm going to be a first-year student this fall at St. John Fisher College. Joining me today is Fisher alumna Ann Harwood. This fall not only marks the first year as a student at Fisher, but it marks the 50th anniversary of the first female students enrolled at the college. A lot has changed in the past 50 years, not just on campus, but in our society. Today, Ms. Harwood and I will have a look at Fisher then and now. Thanks for joining me today, Ms. Harwood. I'm excited to hear more about your Fisher experience. And so for the first question I have, tell me how you found St. John Fisher College and what made you apply.
So my sister, my mother, and my aunt went to Nazareth. And my sister's husband had gone to St. John Fisher. Well, at the time I was looking at schools, I actually had accepted at Ithaca College. But after having gone to that orientation, which was like in June, I changed my mind and decided I wanted to go to St. John Fisher instead. It just seemed like a better fit with my background. I'm from a very small town and, raised Catholic and tight-knit community. And I thought Fisher was a better fit for me.
Oh, wow, that's so nice. So what was your first year experience like?
What was wonderful was to make so many friends. I lived in the dorms too, and the friends I made the first year were friends I had all through college and continue to have to this day. So I think that was probably one of the best things about going to Fisher. I didn't grow up too far away, about an hour away in a town called Naples, in the Finger Lakes. So to be out of, a small town environment with a bunch of all new students was really great for me to meet a bunch of new people.
Mm-hmm. And for dorms, were you with one other person, or was it like suite style? I'm not sure like how it was when you were there.
So because I decided to go so late, unfortunately, the RA on my floor had to put up with me as her roommate.
Oh.
And her name was Dawn Lepore, and I'm sure she wasn't real happy about it. But in the end, we ended up being friends, and it worked out. And after that first semester, then I moved into a suites like we had, and we were in ward. The women were in ward. Do we still have ward? I guess we do.
I'm pretty sure you do, yes.
Yeah. So we were. I was in ward for my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and then my senior year, I got into Murray Hall, which was like the really nice place to get into as a senior.
Oh wow, that's so nice. And I probably should have asked you this senior, but what was your major again?
My major was biology.
Oh wow. And what do you do? What have you done with that since graduating from Fisher?
So after I graduated from Fisher with a bachelor's in biology, I did a 1-year internship at a hospital in Peoria, Illinois for medical technology. I continued to do that area, working in hospital laboratories for about 6 years. And then I decided to go to law school.
Oh, wow.
So by that time I had moved to Arizona. And so I went to Arizona State University to law school. I graduated from there in 1989, was in private practice for about 5 years. And the last 23 years of my career, I was an assistant United States attorney for the District of Arizona, which is, it's all federal prosecution, federal litigation.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was fun.
I'm actually, my family went on a vacation to Arizona last year, and I absolutely loved it. And so time will tell what happens, but I would absolutely, right now, I would love to move to Arizona. I'm a nursing major, so I would love to go to Arizona and be a nurse. And when I saw that you were like, I'm AZ time, I was like, oh my gosh, this was meant to be, because I love Arizona. And
where did you go? Where did you go in Arizona?
We went to Sedona, and
oh, yeah.
The red rocks were just beautiful.
Yeah.
And we also went to the Grand Canyon and then Horseshoe Bend. It was just a great experience. And so since then I've been like, I really just want to live there. Like, it was a whole new world. Where do you live in Arizona?
Well, I live in the wintertime in Phoenix, and in the summertime I live in Flagstaff. So Flagstaff is on your way to the Grand Canyon, and Sedona is just south of here.
Oh, wow. So getting back into the questions, did you have a favorite faculty member, and if so, who was it and why?
Well, it would have to be my advisor, who was Dr. McAmer. He was in the biology department. And yeah, he really hung in there with me and, gave great advice and was a funny guy. He used to have this saying, you can't be a liver without your liver. And that's always stuck with me.
Mhm. That is funny. So did he really help you mentor you through the college process?
He
And
did. He definitely did. I got a little discouraged sometimes and I go and talk to him and, he'd say, hang in there and you're doing okay. And yeah, good guy.
definitely seemed like a good resource throughout, especially as a newcomer going into college.
Right.
So what was your favorite spot on campus?
Well, I'm a tennis player, so I probably would have to say the tennis courts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you
We
play
didn't have,
for Fisher?
I did. We didn't have a women's team my first year, but we started one my second year. So I played, my sophomore through my senior year.
Oh,
And we had, I don't know what the courts are like now, but we had beautiful courts
mhm,
and a lot of good memories of my friends that I played tennis with and our coach.
very nice. Yeah, I don't, Fisher just all around seems like a really beautiful campus. I went up in April and for the first time and I was like, we'll see if we'll see how it goes because I really had no expectations, but it was like a month away from me first. So I was like, well, who knows where this could go. And it was really, it's a really pretty campus.
It is.
And,
Yeah.
actually I went up in late June for orientation and we were walking around the town of Pittsburgh and they had they had the lampposts with the flowers on them. It was just
Mhm.
it's a really pretty town and we were by the canal and it was really pretty. So Fisher does seem to be just in a really beautiful area. So
It is. Yeah.
all right. So can you summarize Fisher then in 3 words?
Oh my goodness. It's hard to do it in just 3 words, but
It could
I
be a
would
little bit more if you need to.
solid education and good friends.
Oh wow. That seems really just very real and honest and yeah. It seems like there's so many great opportunities at Fisher that lead into that just make up that whole statement. So
And it's grown so much since I've been there. I mean, all the different programs that you have now. We didn't have a nursing program when I was there. And then they have pharmacy school too, right?
they do, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nursing, pharmacy, business,
Uh-huh.
just I think education. So actually,
Yeah.
I think they were just originally education, if I remember correctly. I think when I maybe that's wrong, but that's what I thought I heard. But maybe that's wrong. All right. So when was the last time you were on campus? Given that you were from Arizona, and how would you summarize Fisher now in 3 words?
Sadly, it's been a long time. I haven't been home in a while. I still have family in Naples, which, as I said, was south of Rochester, where Fisher is. And gosh, it's probably been at least 10 years. And that's my dog, one of my dogs barking. It's McCain. Yeah.
Wow. Do you plan on visiting the Rochester area anytime soon, or would you hope?
Right now, I don't have any plans to go back. I usually try to go back about once a year, but with COVID, it just
Yes, that makes sense.
kind of a problem. So I will probably get back there next year sometime. I'm guessing probably next year.
That's nice. It's nice to have a change of scenery and get
Yeah.
back in. Especially because Arizona's, well, it's such a warm state, but then Flagstaff, it snows all the time. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
Rochester.
Yeah, which is why I'm not there in the wintertime.
Makes sense. And do you have any advice for me as I start my Fisher journey?
Well, I think it's really important that you have a good solid base of friends that you should make lots of friends. And if there's some things on campus that you can get involved in, like for me, it was tennis, but for you, it might be something else. That's also a good way to meet some people that are outside your major. So, and also some upper and lower classmen.
Yes, most definitely. Do you have any I know it's been a while, but if you can think back, do you have any recommendations or tips for because I guess one of my biggest worries is like time management. So like, if you can remember back, like how did you manage the social life versus the educational life versus spiritual life, and making sure that you do everything in all those categories, but really focus on your studies still?
Well, I will have to admit at times I was not good about managing my time, but that's all part of the process of learning how to do it. And I think, as long as you are in a major where it's something you're really interested in, it won't seem like work to be doing your studies, if it's something you have a passion for. And I think hanging out with the right kind of people that are studious and serious about their education also really helps.
Yes, I can only imagine that, like, surrounding yourself with the people who are like um similar, not I wouldn't say similar to you, but who have the same goals as you is probably super important. Like so yeah. Um and do you have anything else, just general, or anything that you would like to speak on behalf of Fisher?
So I think that it's a place where you can make friends for the rest of your life. I mean, one of the persons that's being interviewed for this is Dr. Marie Murphy, and was my best friend in college, and I was just thrilled to see that she was one of the people also being interviewed. And so, it's not like it's just a short portion of your life and then those people are out of your life. If you want, they will always be in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's really what's the word? It's very reassuring to hear that, because I guess as a freshman coming in, I'm like so nervous about, I wouldn't say maybe nervous, but just like, so I'm just nervous and unaware of like what to expect, because, well, I guess not really unaware, but you don't really know, I guess kind of naive almost, like you don't know where you're gonna go or like who your friends are gonna be, but it and especially now these days, just like, well, we do have technology, so like I've been like, I can like connect with people through there, but even still, it's like you really don't know until, like, I feel like there's something to be said for like being in person and like seeing, like, really getting to know people in person. And I'm really excited because I am going to be a nursing major and a service scholar. So I'm hoping between the two of those, I'll have outlets, and we'll be able to like, meet different people from different groups. And I'm also maybe thinking about getting into like campus ministries and maybe
Uh,
something like that to keep Christ in my life, and also to get involved in church, because I am an altar server now at my current church, but I kind of want to branch out and maybe try lecturing or Eucharistic ministering, or just seeing how that goes, just like putting myself out there a little bit more. So
when I was in college, they would have like every day a mass at noon, and it was like 20 minutes. There was no homily, but it was a very peaceful time, and it was nice to go to.
that seems like really awesome, just to have those, a little bit of time just to decompress each day. That I kind of hope they have that now. That would be something really I'll have to look into, because
Yeah.
that's like something that would be just really beneficial for my spiritual life, and also just to kind of like decompress for a few minutes. And that's actually really awesome. I didn't know that. So I hope they still
Right.
have
I don't know if they still do, but it was Father Trovato who passed away recently, and
that. Mhm.
wonderful man, just a super guy.
Awesome. Well, any other thoughts or comments, or
No, but I wish you the best of luck. You've picked a great, great career path. Nursing, I've got many friends who are nurses and they've just done great, and you've got a lot of options.
wow. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Miss Harwood. It was a pleasure getting to speak to you and getting to learn a little bit about your Fisher then and now experience. So thank you so much for taking your
My pleasure. My pleasure. You're very welcome.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.